everyone, welcome, and we are ready for a new episode.
We're back in the studio.
Back in the studio.
We are.
So episode number 51, live again from the shop.
Yep.
And lots of stuff to talk about.
For sure. Feels good to be back.
Feels good to be back. So let's see if any of you have watched last week live. You probably saw that we were streaming from home with 5 of us. And it was the first time we actually did a streaming in 5. Which was brilliant.
It was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
I think it was definitely fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. So let us know in the comments if that was a good one, because we could probably do another one if you like that. So, all right, quite a few people joining online. Slot car legend, thank you. Okay, so as usual, we have a car at the front here.
Yep.
So let's see if you guys can guess which car it is. So
we didn't have one last week, did we?
We didn't have one last week,
No.
But we had lots of slot cars last week.
Yeah, that sort of makes up for it.
So it almost makes it up for it, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got our weekly car up the front. So if you're not used to this, this is our little competition we hold during our live. So see if you can tell us what type of car this is, as in brand, also the model and the color. So
They were suggesting already,
are they?
actually. Oh dear, already done.
What do you mean? No, come
Yes,
on.
I think it's a very, very good guess here.
Can't be that recognizable.
There's more numbers, thankfully, on the description there. But I think Travis is suggesting that is a Lotus Elise, which...
Yeah,
I think Tony's suggesting there's a Batmobile, which could also be.
Yeah, that's his Sunday car.
It's a Sunday car, yeah, I think so. So I think Travis has it. What else can we add to it? There's 2 more. There's a number and a version and a color. I wonder how you could guess that. It's even off screen almost. Let me pull it back.
What do you mean?
Well, you could almost not see it.
Oh, maybe the roof line's really recognizable.
Probably. So well done. 380. Oh no, it's not.
No.
It's not a 380.
No.
It's
I
not a 380.
reckon they made a whole heap of different kinds of.
I wondered that too.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time.
All right, let's make it interesting. Let's keep guessing. So what have we got today? Today we're going to talk about RC drag cars later on.
Yep, something a bit different.
Before then, we're going to talk about some plastic kits. We've got a special TAMIYA kit sitting there that we're going to have a look in a minute.
Yep.
We may look at a White Willie and some Hearns Workshop. So last week, due to lockdown, we managed to produce lots of new models.
We did.
And so we're going to talk about that.
Yep.
So let's get started with the Hearns Workshop. What do you think?
So I think it's really good. I use
Good.
But apart from that, what should we look at Plugger at the moment?
Plugger
is not a new thing that we've been talking
No.
about. So this is a long project. So we've actually got boxing is all ready now. So Plugger is our comical W-class Melbourne tram. So here's Plugger here. And if you've been following along, you'll notice that Plugger disappeared for a little while. He disappeared for a couple of months or something like that. And then he reappeared. And so he's going to be back on the social media pretty soon. He's going to be wandering around town. Now, we've got Plugger. This version is built as a working one. That's on a Kato chassis. But we just produced Plugger as a full static model kit. Okay, and we have an example right here. Okay, so let's have a close-up, I think.
Definitely.
I'll pass that over to you.
All right, so let's get a bit closer here. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have I guess the body is the same as the motorized Plugger, but then we have a chassis here.
Yep.
And then you got bogies.
Yep.
And the wheels.
Yep.
That you can assemble.
Yep.
On this other plate here, you have like a base really, which is a pave type road.
Yep.
And the number plates, or the numbers here. So you got all the components to build the tram, and then you're gonna have to paint it up, make it look, I guess, as realistic as you want, or as abstract as you want, really. So this is the first project that we do to create a model kit in full.
Yes.
So we'll come, as BJ suggested, in a box like this.
Yep.
There'll be some instruction included. All the details are here, and there's a full instruction manual included. And you're gonna just need to purchase some paints and the traditional tools and the glue. So obviously a little bit of finishing, but as you see from here, the finishing is really good.
It's pretty clean.
So there won't
I'm really
be
proud of this.
Much work. So
particularly being the first model kit.
That's right.
Yep.
So very, very clean model, really. So we also work in a way where the supports are away from anything visible, really. So there's minimal damage from the supports.
Yes.
And so it should be really easy to clean and prepare, even for a new modeler, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of bits and pieces. Just a little bit of super glue just to hold it all together.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, I like how it's like a blank canvas.
Yes.
So from there, you can paint so many different versions of the tram.
Absolutely.
So when they first came out, I can't remember when they first came out. It would have been in the 20s or 30s when the W class was first released, and they ended up making 700 odd of these particular trams. There's a few floating around, which is more like Plugger's color. Okay, so that's what the City Circle trams look like now.
Number 35 normally.
Yep. In the earlier days when they first released the City Circle, they were actually brown. So they have changed a bit. And also there's a brown dining cars that unfortunately aren't around anymore. And I'm sure there's a lot of earlier type schemes you can put on there too. And the other thing you can make it really interesting is you can put, exactly where you want the line to be and the number.
Absolutely. So again, this was designed in-house. So Warwick designed this model in full. We designed the full packaging, and so this is a fully made in Melbourne product.
Yes.
So we produce this in a shop.
Yep.
So made in Melbourne tram.
It's good.
First of many, hopefully. So we've got a couple of other ones that are starting now to take shape. But as you know, it takes quite a long time to design these in full.
It's got a really nice box. The box just really very pretty and compact. Make a really good gift.
Definitely. So
I've got a question for you guys regarding the model. Would you be able to do a kind of micro LED layout to make it LED, or instead of a manual flip sign, could you do an LED signage in it, or even internal lighting?
Well, you could if you're clever enough. So basically that just means you have to mill out the inside. So if you wanted to illuminate the front end, you just got to hollow it out and put transparent or translucent piece there, print out whatever name you want, put a light in there, and it'll be lit. Same sort of thing can happen with the side windows too. You cut all those out if you wanted to.
We can eventually produce, if there is enough interest, a version with the cutout windows. It's something we can definitely change the design for. In fact, if you jump onto something we've done new.
Yeah, that's a bit special. This could be another quiz. Does anybody know what this is?
Yes. Can you guess this? What this could be?
What is that?
But as you can see from this one, the windows are being cut out, so we could do the same for the tram.
Yeah.
So let's see if anyone can guess what this is. Meanwhile, we grab a few things to put here, really.
So quite a few things have been happening during the 2-week lockdown.
So we've got quite a few new models here. Let's bring them all up. So start with railway little products. And then we move to figures. So we've got quite a few railway projects happening. What have you lost?
Your little buffer stop things here.
Oh, the buffer stops. Perfect. So buffer stop, first one, we launched them a few weeks back, and they're in full swing. So let's put a top camera. There we go. So that's a Victorian buffer stop. So we start designing and producing a range of railway products, specifically for Australian modelers. And so this is the first buffer stop. We're going to have two versions, the one with the board in the middle here, and the one without. And then we have a version with the base as well, with all the concrete sleepers and all the foundation, of this system. I think that will be more suited in maybe 35th scale if you want to do a diorama of a kind of working yard or something, a railway yard. You could see all the details of that. So these are going to be sold in packets of, I don't remember, 6 from memory or something like that.
I think so, yes.
And so they'll be available on the website in the next few days. So that's it. And moving on, more railway stuff. We have there Australia Post letterboxes. So we've got a single one, a double one, which will make normal post and express. And then we have a third version coming, which I don't know what it is actually.
So it's the half height one, which is on a pole.
That's right. Yes. Okay, that's going to be really nice. So you're going to have a third one coming soon, and those are going to be sold as bags of 6 of each individual one. bags of 3, each individual one, or a mixed bag of 2 of each for a total of 6 for the 3 versions.
Yep.
The third little product that we have is this one here.
Did anyone pick it?
I think so. I think Kaju Shorts said the box design. Suggesting talking about the tram. So we'll respond about the tram in a moment. So no suggestion on this, but we have the traditional Telstra phone boxes here.
Maybe we can zoom in, see it up close.
Let's see if we can come any closer. Here we go. Actually, that's better.
Oh, look at that.
It's much better. Here we go.
That is quite incredible because actually I can't remember exactly if these are only Telstra or was it also Australian Telecom?
Probably,
Because
yeah.
Australian Telecom had just the funky T symbol, and then Telstra came along and it had the swirly oval over it. But either way, it was definitely a Telstra, and it's in the orange Telstra sort of colours. Very recognisable. So
Definitely.
these were the open-fronted ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is an early version that we did. It's got some imperfection, but we still painted up. Marlin did design those ones, so and painted up, and that this is the final version, which, as you can see, is very straight and consistent.
It's amazing how much detail is actually in the phone itself.
Yeah.
It has the buttons for the phone.
Buttons. So all the buttons of the phone are visible if you've got good eyes. And yeah, so that comes in another set of, I think, 2 from memory. I'll show again the letter boxes, actually, the Studio Post boxes. Now that you have a bit more, zoom. Okay.
Yeah, look good. I mean, they look exactly like the ones that are across the road.
Absolutely. And yeah, this was the buffer stop, actually. How so much better now. There we go.
Yeah, you definitely see the difference, particularly after they're painted. You get a lot more depth.
Definitely. And we will produce them in a set similar to this. There's a question in relation to Plugger, actually.
Plugger,
and Kaju Short is asking, why is it called comical?
He's comical because looks a bit deformed, as in like an SD type, super deformed kit.
Yes.
So we call it comical because it's like the comical TAMIYA kits, which are being squashed, and they're a little bit of a caricature.
And obviously they're not to scale.
Yeah.
So they're a bit
they're actually a bit squashed. They're a bit shorter than they should be.
Yes.
And because of that, it's got simpler details. So there's a single door in the center rather than a twin door, just to give the effect.
Absolutely.
Like a cute version.
So he's Kaju Short is suggesting we can put some graffiti on the phone box. That's a really good idea.
Yep. Pull out the marker.
Definitely. Yeah. And so these ones are made in HL scale for now, but we are discussing releasing those in 24 scale or 35th scale or so.
Imagine 35th scale.
So
then
they'll
you have these post-apocalyptic dioramas, tanks and everything.
So, okay, so let's park those on this side here. Quite a few. So, let's introduce the next lot.
Oh, okay. Yes. Right. So we've got a selection of mini trays, I guess you call them, in what we had as our detailing range of Hearns Workshop. So the detailing range is a lot of small parts. There's bolt heads, nuts, rivets. At the moment, we have some hydraulic connectors. So in my hand is some hydraulic connectors. Over here, might get the overhead camera, I think. Let's see. Okay, so this one here, this is actually the dials which you can use on, say, in a cockpit, or even in scratch building any sort of science fiction type model. You see that there's multiple sort of, there's a knob with the center handle. You've got a cross type knob, which is like a tap. And then you've got the multi-piece, more like a hydraulic type fitting. And then various other ones there as well, different sizes. Okay, so these are about, what size? Are these half the size?
No, this one is 32nd scale. So what we've done on those, we've done 32nd scale and 24 scale.
Okay, yep.
And then, so the mini trays are 24 and 32nd scale.
Right, okay, yep. All right, so that's one there. So that's the little handly things. So this one here, we've got the bolts. So there's 3 different sizes. Might get a better idea over here. So they're all mounted on their stalks, just like the standard ones. See it from there. And then the idea is you just cut it off so that you still have a part of the stalk showing. You drill a matching hole into your model, and then this will be located straight inside. So you can see how there's a hex with the flange bottoms. So they're really nice. So they've got a little dimple across the top as well. And then over here, this is what I had earlier, which is the hydraulic fittings. Okay, so there's hydraulic fittings, and it looks like some cable glands there as well. So they're cable connectors. So nice little sets with quite a variety there, and just a small set just helps you expand the, I guess, the complexity of your model by adding this really fine detail. I mean, there's little threads and things and cross hatching that you can't actually see here, but it all comes up with the painting.
That's very impressive. So we've produced, I think we've got about 20 odd new trays going up online as we speak.
Yep.
And we've done this with the idea of giving more opportunities to, you know, customize your model. So we've done mixed sets, as DJ was saying. So the hydraulic one, there's a few different fittings. So there's mixed fittings. Before we had only T's, one tray, and 9 T's in the other tray, and so forth. So we're just trying to give options based on what you're trying to model. So quite a few different variations, particularly new, beside the cable glands that we did last week. But quite lots of mixed sets and variations in size and scales and mix. So, yeah, good options.
Yeah, so you can quickly go into the YouTube channel as well, because a little while ago I did a tutorial on how to use these detailing items. So that'll give you a real close-up look of, it shows you me fitting them as well.
Right. Good. So, what do we have next?
We got something a bit different. We've got some figures.
We've got some figures, so let's bring those up here.
Okay.
Get some prototypes. So, I think from memory last week on the live, you showed I
showed the bigger figure,
the bigger figure,
1/12 scale figure.
1/12 scale figure of this lady here. So let me bring this up. And this is I don't remember what scale this one is. I think
She looks about 30, 50.
I was
maybe
thinking, something around that. So let's go to the top camera. Well, here we go.
Yeah, you might have to leave it sort of flat for it to focus.
Okay, so here we go. So Beach been painting.
What is the 35th scale?
Here we go.
Yep, so it looks 35th scale.
A partner.
Yes.
From a different country and different...
That's right, and different weaponry. So she's using ancient weaponry.
And these be more modern.
Yes.
So this is a product that we have designed, and comes in, it will come eventually in a kit.
I'll just zoom this out a bit.
Yes, will come in a kit, but we are looking at doing it also in 35th scale as a one piece, which we think has come up quite nicely actually.
For sure.
So it'll be the figure, and on another tray we will have the swords and the hair. Actually, the hair are quite complex, quite detailed. I don't know whether we can see that, but there's 2 components here to complete the head.
So she's got a short bob, which is in 2 pieces. So it's got a bit of a wave happening.
Yes.
Yep.
And the sword is quite nice. It's actually surprisingly flexible.
Yep.
So I thought it would break, but it doesn't really. Or maybe it's going to break during the live, but it shouldn't. And that's the largest sword here, which is...
It's a good thing about the material. It's quite resilient.
It is quite resilient, and then moving on, we have produced some, what do we call them?
Call them wargaming minis.
Wargaming miniatures.
Which I think Kaiju Shorts might be
interested
in.
on. So we have a good one there that's fully finished, and we have a couple of that had accidents.
That happens.
Didn't go too well. So this guy got half his head. This guy lost it completely. Here.
Yeah.
But this is to show that the level of detail that we can obtain is phenomenal, really.
Really sharp.
So there's a few projects in the works that we have to create some of these little people with all sorts of different armaments or whatsoever. Here we go.
Yeah, cool.
So let us know what you would like to see next in the Hearns Workshop range. So we've got quite a lot of things in the works, as you see, railway stuff, figures, detailing sets, and obviously some larger project like the tram. That takes several months to to complete actually.
There's still some of the diorama stuff that we worked on earlier too, which is the
That's right.
we've got some mixed crates.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, mixed crates and
So like an Allied style one and a
that's right.
German style
Yeah, it's
one.
got a few. There's 3 different versions. Okay, so Kaji Short is definitely keen on some of those. So maybe we should talk about what you like, and we can create some specifically ready. So cool. So let's park those here.
I definitely like that one with the sword figure.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of a game, like I said, in the comments.
Yes.
Very similar, but different in the same aspect. Looks amazing.
Good. Very good. All right, let's put these guys away.
Yep.
As usual, let us know if you have any questions or comments. We can even jump in the shop and pick up a few things. We can show them here.
Yep. So have we had any more takers on the car?
No. So the car we established that is a Lotus lease.
Yes.
But we don't have the model and
Right.
the color. The color is probably easy, but
Yep.
it's one of my favorite colors. Not so much favorite for you.
No, I'm not a fan of matte colors. But
Oh, you give it away now.
You trickster.
Yes. Okay, so what do we have next?
What do we have next? What are we going to look at?
I think we should talk about little nanoblocks. Bit different.
So these are really nice. I mean, it's really heartwarming when a big company makes something like local to us.
Yes.
And particularly something this like iconic. I mean, this is Flinders Street Station. And it's great because Flinders Street Station, well, this corner is just over there, the facade.
That's right.
And I was actually out there in the howling wind and I took a photo of this against it. And it looks really good. It looks very impressive by itself. And then when you have it next to the other one, you think, oh, wow, they did get all the details pretty right because, there's not a lot of different shapes in here, but it is a really good example.
Definitely.
Yeah, because you got the tram on the side here, and then in the back, you also got the train on the inside as well.
Really well thought through, actually. Yeah, definitely. So this was featured on What's On just this week.
Yes.
So we did a video last year on the station, and that was featured again this week. So thank you very much to What's On for bringing this up again. And beside the station, you also have different version of plugger.
Yeah, there's a NANOBLOCK version of plugger.
Yes.
Yep.
And this NANOBLOCK of plugger has how many parts are in here? 290 pieces.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So the station is 430 pieces, which is a lot, and plugger in NANOBLOCK's version is 290. So lots of small parts, but it's a really good fun project.
It is.
It's very different from Lego, even though it's the same principle. I find it really different, very different feel actually, and spirit almost. So
I guess it feels like there's a bit more detail happening, I think.
I agree. I agree. So there's the NANOBLOCKs, and as we talk about Melbourne, we should mention about the puzzle.
Oh yes, the puzzle has to be mentioned. I mean,
this is not new. We had it last year. It's been around for some time, but this puzzle is phenomenal.
So it's a really iconic hand-drawn map of Melbourne. It fits in the whole of metropolitan Melbourne, as in just outside the CBD. And
Let me put it.
you can see where we are.
All right.
All right, so you got the Yarra all the way along here.
Let's go out a little bit. Whoops, sorry. This way.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right, so we've got the Yarra. The Yarra River goes out here. You've got the main CBD that's over here. Okay, obviously the South Bank. And then across here you can see there's Flinders Street Station with the big clock and Elizabeth Street.
Back in.
And basically we are just right here, just sort of next to the base of that clock. So that's where we're beaming all around the world to you at the moment, right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. It's actually covering a huge area of Melbourne if you look at this.
It is. And there's so much detail that you can pick out all the individual buildings.
That's right. And there's lots of details. So I saw one of the posts we did this week, and there is the boot of Melbourne I Love You. Chris from Melbourne I Love You used to have a boot somewhere selling his photos.
Oh, really?
And I think is actually somewhere in here, really, if you zoom in properly.
Right.
You should be able to see. So I think they managed to make the drawing, which is obviously static, but it's almost dynamic. There is life in it. So
Yes.
if you build this one, you'll find so much detail, so much information that you can carry on studying in Melbourne, and every part of it will have a very strict meaning, actually.
Yeah, well, you got the MCG here.
The MCG.
You got this. I don't know what they call it now. Is that AAMI?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's
I can't
right.
remember. They changed the
You
name.
have Rod Lever Arena.
Yep. You got Birrawong Ma here with Federation Square.
Yeah. There's obviously Albert Park down here.
Yep. So, you know, the F1 circuits, just all the way around there. This is basically Swanston Street with St Kilda Road.
Yep.
Okay, and you can tell here how they've designed the shrine to be right in the centre here, so that when you're at any point of this part in Melbourne, you can see the Shrine of Remembrance right there.
That's right. That's the botanical garden on this side here.
Yeah, it's botanical right here. And then over here, you've got the Fitzroy Gardens, and you'll probably see Captain Cook's cottage. Yes, Captain Cook's cottage got pulled apart and rebuilt right there. Over here, you got the Parliament. You got the Treasury building here where I got married. Got the hotel there where I had my reception. Oh, that's all about me, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, and then, so it's amazing how built up it is.
And if you go up here, it's probably hard to see, but there is the balloon here.
Oh, yes.
So that's one of the, let's see if you can zoom in. Here we go. Got the helicopter ride, balloon. So the balloon is like a good experience that, you know, you can do in Melbourne if you're a tourist, even if you're not really.
Yeah. Sometimes you see them around in the sky.
That's right. That's right. So there is a plane up on this side. There's a Qantas plane by the look of it. So as you start looking around, there's so much information here. Obviously, it's birds, all kind of things. There's a Marvel Stadium on this side here.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really enchanting.
Very much so.
You just look at a little square and you'll see.
There is definitely something interesting. So that's a beautiful little puzzle. Well, not quite little. So it will take several hours to build. You're going to have to build also the white border all around.
Yeah, that'll be fun, won't it?
With the things will be the challenge number one.
Yes.
If you pass the border, then you may get
a
chance to finish it.
Yes.
So.
Do we know how big that puzzle actually is?
It is written here somewhere.
I think it's written somewhere. It's about roughly the same size of this black mat from memory. Let me have a look. It will say somewhere here at the back. No, it doesn't. I'm sure I've seen it. We'll find out. But it's
here it is. Here it is.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Let me turn it. 68 by 49.3. So. Yeah, about this size, like the black mat here. So
decent size.
So
really nice.
So very good. All right. So what's next?
What should we do?
We're gonna have Brett eventually coming in soon, talking about
some RC stuff.
Meanwhile, we should start looking at. Should we get Brett? If Brett is free, we'll grab him in. Let's give it a second. Meanwhile, we should talk about this car, which we know is matte finish. Someone give it away.
Who?
I don't know.
Who's all
know is it?
I'll give it away.
Lotus?
Hey!
All right, let's do a swap.
I call BS.
Do you now?
Keep your distance.
I will.
All right.
Favorite team.
Come in. So,
hello guys, how are we today? Has anybody guessed your car?
yes, we have a guess.
Already?
Very close guess, but we don't have the exact model. So we know it's a Lotus Elise, but we don't know the actual version of it.
What about the color? Did anybody guess
Well,
the color?
BJ gave away there is a matte color.
Wow, it's not very shiny. Either that or
not
it's badly
shiny.
scratched, isn't it?
And so we'll see what happens next.
That's fantastic. So
So
what are we here to talk about?
We were going to talk about this really good looking
Oh, Tommy's rig.
Tommy's rig.
Well, he actually probably knows a lot more about it than I do, but it is an RC car of sorts, isn't it?
So
It's a drag car. This is for
drag
the
racing is something that is, taken
It's
out
building.
recently.
And you can tell it's building by the more and more influence that the aftermarket sector's having on it.
Yeah,
aren't they?
absolutely. So very much, you can get any cars and turn it into a drag car, realistically.
Yeah, well, it's based off an old buggy, isn't it?
This
Old
I think is a
Slash
Bandit.
or
This is a-
Bandit.
this is a
Yeah,
Bandit, and the other one that we have there, I think, is more of a
Slash.
So-
And then I think trucks are about to release their no prep drag car as
That's
well,
right.
aren't they? So it really shows that the aftermarket's taking it very serious.
That's
it means
right.
that there's something going on there. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. They're fairly cheap to get into, aren't they?
Definitely.
I think they're limited at 2S, so to keep the costs down. It's still crazy fast though. I think
Super
they're doing
fast.
like 2.2 seconds, I want to say, or 2.4 seconds. So yeah, you can see this one here's been fitted with 8 scale GTE tires. Yeah, because apparently that's a pretty good formula.
I think once you put your body on, that looks pretty cool. Look at this.
They love it, don't they?
Look at this.
It is pretty cool.
I really like the wheels going inside the body here.
Yeah, yeah, and it's even got the big wheelie bar on there. You can see.
That's
Can
right.
You see?
That's right. And then there's another one here. Let me get
I
off
know
this
they're like breeding, aren't they?
Look at this. So Tom has a unlimited selection
Of RC cars,
of
doesn't
RC
he?
car of any kind of
Does he
color.
ever?
I think it does every color of car that is in the market.
Now this one here is actually an out of the box
Team Associated.
Team Associated.
Yes.
DR10.
DR10.
So I think we've had it on before. Actually, probably this very same car that we've had
The
on
body
before.
shell is. Yeah, it's actually the original
think-
body shell. on
Yeah,
this
it's the
one.
original body shell. I think it's put a few detailed trimmings
Yes.
on there and stuff.
Again, big wheels at the back.
Big wheels at the back. He's got the 8 scale GT on there. And he has upgraded the electrics. I think it's still in the prototype phase, hence the super long wires. But he's taken it from the 3300 kV ready to run motor. And I think he's put a 4.5 turn motor in it. So
Wow.
it's a really censored motor. So that's what we would use in competition on road. And
And-
this is the brand new Exotec wheelie bar to go on it, isn't it?
Definitely. So this will fit at the back here.
It'll fit over the gearbox and come right down.
That's
Um,
right.
And I haven't actually had a look at this one, but yeah, it'll have all the adjustments here, so
Yeah,
you can
so you
adjust it incrementally to see how much squat you're getting and how much balance you're getting to try and generate that traction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this thing should be a rocket.
I think so.
Looking forward to seeing some videos or some pics of it going down.
That's right.
Going down the
Flinders
road. Going down Flinders Street. Well, it's
In a
nice and
rainy
quiet
day.
out
In
there.
a rainy day.
It's nice and quiet out there. I think we could do it one day.
Absolutely. So
I think we should do it one day.
I think we should do it one day.
So yeah, so that's a couple of dragsters that we've got, which is really cool. Like I said, it's a growing market. Yeah, really excited for Traxxas to get amongst it too.
That's
With
right.
their ready to run one. Because most predominantly people are using the Slash
I think
and
so,
the
yeah.
Bandits, and then Associated released their DR10, which is based off of
SC10, I think. Is they
SC
shell course.
the short
chassis.
course truck,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
goes back to the B5,
That's right.
is it?
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
B6
Something
maybe,
like that, yeah.
but yeah.
Definitely.
So fairly familiar architecture to most people in
That's
RC. And the aftermarket bodies look fantastic too.
Absolutely. So we've got a few JCONCEPT bodies, aftermarket bodies.
We have
specifically.
got a few
It's quite nice.
J Concept ones, which
You know,
brings me
if
to
you're the manufacturer joining in, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone has released officially anything, but we
well,
know. a
BD
few.
Design have even recently talked about doing the 1/7 scale
That's right.
basher body,
That's right.
which will look
So,
cool. I think it's going to be
Hopefully
based.
to get onto the track market.
Yeah, and the drag
That'd be quite
market, the
nice.
high speed market. So
That's right.
there's a big market for just going up and down streets and straight lines, obviously.
Absolutely. So
So that is a bit of drag stuff this week. Looking forward to seeing that go.
then I hear you've been building this GT that you showed some bits last week, and as promised,
We did show some bits and pieces, didn't I, from home last week?
yes, but you actually finished it. You committed.
I
You
did. I
delivered.
committed. I put in a fair bit of time and effort, and there's Tommy's GT baby ready to go. Yeah, apart from having a body, which is still to be
Work in progress.
work in progress. Yep, that's going to get done over the weekend. I'll do a body for GT. So looking forward to that. So that's the Hot Bodies GTE8. And you can see that we've fitted it with the dash running gear. We've got a high servo, a few bling washers. And apart from that, it is factory
Stock
spec.
standard, yeah.
Yeah, at the current stage. There is some more Exotec bling to go on there with the steering brace and the steering rack to go in. But yeah, so looking forward to seeing Tommy actually, well, hopefully use it.
Yes. If
Instead
not,
of just on the-
we will use
If not,
it.
we'll commandeer it and take it. We'll take
Yeah.
it to the velodrome,
Yeah.
take it out to Bendigo,
Yeah.
Ludale, take it all around.
So here, Bendigo is gonna have a go at this class eventually.
Yeah,
once we can race again.
yeah. Once we can race again, they've welcomed us to come out and sort of have a demo day and see how it goes and how it fits their club. So that'd be good. There's 4 or 5 of us now that are looking to get out there, which will be good fun. Yeah, so that's cool. In racing terms as well, the 8 scale IC ACT state titles have been announced.
Yes.
And we are the naming sponsor of that.
Yeah.
Hearns Hobbies ACT off-road titles. And it's on the 17th and 18th of July.
Yes.
Which will be fantastic. Fantastic to be involved
Less than a
with
month.
that. Less than a month, I know. Hopefully we can get off the leash, get up there. Yeah, I'm hoping to make it up myself and race, which will be absolutely fantastic to go up there, meet a lot of the guys, say hello, and have some fun racing. Yeah, have a bit of trackside support. Also this week we had announced the 1/10 Victorian EP titles,
Definitely.
out at Keilor, which is awesome. And again, we've managed to secure the naming rights sponsors on
Yeah,
that,
we're
haven't
definitely
we?
going to support the club. We've been supporting that club for many, many years since, if those that remember, Rob was around 5-6 years ago. We used to go there and race and support the club. And this year we're back supporting the club. I went there racing and then Invitational 2 months ago.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
really
you
good
raced
event,
there, didn't
really
you?
good fun. And so back again to support the Victorian titles.
Yeah, we might even
Really
have we might even run the Vics. I reckon you should
I
run
think so.
4-wheel, and I might run 2-wheel drive,
Right.
and we can
That's
tag team the shop and a bit of trackside
That's right.
support again.
So I think so. Definitely.
And yeah, get amongst it and be involved. So that's a couple of big things. Obviously, the biggest talk in Victoria at the minute is lockdown and COVID.
Absolutely.
And
So currently we can't race.
Currently we can't race. Currently we can't even go to the tracks. Is what I'm hearing.
But hopefully, next couple of weeks that resume all back to normal.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
It's
crossed.
wet anyway.
Mask on.
It's
all we
it's
can
wet
do.
anyway, so it's been raining a lot down here in Melbourne, so we can't
Well,
race very much.
that'd be the beauty of the GTE, because we'll be able to run these in the wet. Looking
Yes.
forward to that with our
lots of
GRP rain tyres.
Yes, definitely.
And yeah, what other RC news have we got this week?
So we received some Exotech stuff.
Yes.
We received some more hot bodies electric kits.
Yes.
Specifically up in Queensland, we had lots of demand for them.
Yeah.
So quite
Yeah.
a few of the guys are racing hot bodies electric up in Queensland, buggy and truggy.
Yeah, buggy and truggy. And the guys are saying every club meet or every race they go to, they just can't believe how hot bodies as a brand is just becoming more and more predominant. And it's really good to see, because obviously we're a believer in such a great product and such a good company to deal with.
That's right.
But obviously the racers are starting to see it too.
I like that the car has been evolving consistently in the past, I don't know, probably 7, 8, 10 years, but the actual backbone of the car is still there. So even though there is evolution, it's not revolution. And you can see also the GT, it's still based on the buggy really. So there's lots of sharing on parts, which helps you if you're racing a few different categories.
Absolutely.
To not having to buy too many spare parts, and the drivetrain is very similar across most of them.
Yep. Only the truggies, they have a bit of a different gearbox ratio, but still fundamentally same gearbox casing, same bearings, same axles, obviously longer drive shafts and so forth.
Definitely.
But the cars are very closely related, which is fantastic, and they seem to be extremely robust. And the fact that we don't actually sell too many spare parts, too many people break them. They might give their car a freshen up or maintenance, but I think that's and they're no slouch because of it. They are definitely at the pointy end of every race that we seem to be seeing and having, which is good.
Absolutely.
Great product to be part of.
We've got Orca on its way, coming in the next probably couple of weeks or so.
Yeah.
13.5, 17.5, 21.5 build tree motors, just like probably some of the fastest motor in the market.
Just a really nice motor, the Blitzstream 2 motors. And the modified version's called the Mod-Tream. So yeah, obviously modified, as fun as it is, like 90% of the market really is stock spec stuff.
That's right.
So those motors that Nick said, the stock class motors, but that's where you can really see the quality and the reliability, because you can really start to push those stock spec motors to the limit.
Definitely.
So yeah, and the speed controllers too. And as many as we've sold and gone out into the racing world, we've been really good reliability-wise.
Yes. So Orca had a few issues a couple of years ago with one of the releases, and it seems like the latest models have been.
The latest stuff seems pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're also the stock spec for the ETS race series in Europe as well.
That's right.
Orca.
Yes.
So they're using the control motor for the stock class in the ETS round, the European Touring Car series. They're using the control motor and speed controller which is readily available.
That's right.
So yeah, so it's really good signs for Orca. And again, they've also got a great range of LiPo batteries too, haven't they?
Yes.
They've got from the 6300 full-size touring car pack to the low-profile 6001, which the guys in Modified like, to the shorties 5400s.
6000, 5400. There's a couple of different versions as well.
Yeah, and the shorties,
Sizes,
which have been super reliable so far, and super powerful. So really just looking forward to this restriction ending and getting back on track.
Absolutely.
We've got also the so we've got the VIX off-roads, also got the VIX on-roads as well coming up.
Coming up in November,
October,
November.
First weekend in October. I don't know that it's been announced yet, but that's something to look forward to and hopefully get more of a buzz around.
Absolutely. So
and we've also got interest there too with Yokomo.
That's right.
And really seeing how the Yokomos can go in Victoria, because I'm sure that they'll go really well.
I think so too. So very good.
I think that's about all for this week.
That's all for today. Obviously, we've been shut for 2 weeks.
I know.
Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, you should see quite a bit of stock coming in. As I say, Orca, there's more hot bodies coming.
More hot bodies coming.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be another Yokomo.
Another Yokomo
again,
coming
there'll
too.
be more Aromax.
Aromax is shipped already, so there's
isn't it?
Aromax on its way.
Yeah, it's just
Lots
it's
of
really good. There's a really good pace and momentum going.
That's right.
And hopefully it's just Victoria that gets in and out of lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys.
Thank
I'll
you.
leave it
Thank
with you.
Brett.
Let BJ come back.
Yes.
Thanks,
All
guys. Play nice.
All right. Let's park the dragster. This is really cool. I want to put this back out again.
This is really impressive.
It is impressive. It looks really fast.
Carbon bit.
I think we take this to the velodrome in any case, no matter what.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to go around the corner. It just needs to launch off the end.
Velodrome is going to come up again very soon, actually.
It is.
So September.
Yeah.
Sometime in September.
Yes.
It is a velodrome event.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I've got a question with you guys. If you, depending on what we can ask to the fans, is with drag racing, do you have to do very refined, careful adjustments when you're drag racing with these, or is it's not as?
It's more traction, really. So you want to limit your steering. So normally you don't want to have that much steering. So is when you use your what we call the dual rates. So you have a situation where the steering is limited to very, very minor adjustment just to keep the kind of straight line, and then you switch it to full rates when you want to turn around and come back effectively.
Yeah, it's like a totally different school of racing because there's different skills involved. So it's from standstill. So you want to make sure that your throttle movement is nice and smooth.
Yeah.
And to do that, you try to use the electronics to help you there as well. Because you know, with wheel spin, it's like a real drag car. Once you do wheel spin, the other guy's already at the end or already won.
And if wheels are spinning, you know, the car start pulling in one direction or the other, so it's hard to keep it straight. At a high speed, when you do directional adjustment, you need to be really, really careful because it's easy to go in the wrong direction, really, and so forth. So, yeah, it's fun.
It's interesting. It really makes you think because all these different aspects of racing, you have to set them up differently.
So normal racing, you're trying to go as fast as you can through the corners. But in this case, you're trying to not corner at all.
No.
Because if you corner, it's disaster. Yeah.
You'll be rolling down.
So meanwhile, we have Anthony jumping online. So hi, afternoon, Anthony.
Hello.
So very good. So what do we say about this car? So
it doesn't shine.
It doesn't shine. It doesn't shine. So Travis had some good start picking the model of the car. So Lotus Elise.
Yes.
But we need to know which model of the Elise and the color. So, okay. Well, guys, again, if you have questions, let us know. Meanwhile, I think we should.
So look at some kits. This is something special, isn't it? Bit of a classic Tamiya kit.
So, what's the story with this car?
So it's a classic Tamiya 1/20th scale kit. So Tamiya had a lot of F1 kits, and everyone was anticipating the next release at the end of the season because it was always towards the end of the season before they would release anything because obviously it was all secretive about the design of the car.
That's right.
So you never got the car kit during the season, you'll get the next one. So end of the year, you'll be waiting for whatever comes out. And so this was during that time, you're talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
So this particular one would have been
Let's see if
80s?
put a date. 82.
Okay, so 1982. So we're talking about Nelson Piquet and what else is it? Number 2. Riccardo Patrese.
Oh, oh wow.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a turbo car. So as everyone knows, you know, the turbo car era was an amazing era to watch.
Definitely.
It was a dangerous time. It was the same sort of time when rally racing was really raw.
Group B.
You still had Group B going.
Yeah.
And then you had these tiny engines in F1 with these gigantic turbos because it was only 1.5 litre engine.
Yeah. Producing crazy power.
That's right. And they had the 2 classes, didn't they? They had, you know, naturally aspirated and turbo.
Do we know how many horsepower they were producing at the time?
Oh, thousands. Would have been
Thousands.
A couple of million, I think.
Couple of millions.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So this is an original kit from TAMIYA from many years back.
Yep. So what's the year on it? Does it have the year? 1983. So 1983 production kit. It's all original.
So it's close to 40 years old.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Really nice too. So the F1 kits were always 1/20th scale.
Yep.
So the cars are 1/24th, and people used to always say, "Oh, why didn't they make them all the same scale?" Because I make 24 scale cars. The thing is that there were some 24 scale F1 cars that were available. They just looked tiny. They looked like a go-kart, and you couldn't really see much detail.
Yeah.
So TAMIYA opted to go for 1/20th scale, which when it's fully built is about the same size as a 24 scale car.
A bit larger, a bit more detailed.
Yes. So, and they always had interior detail. So they designed them so that after you finish it, you can pull off the cowling and see all the engine detail.
Wow.
So yeah. So if we have a quick look at,
So let's go to top camera.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. So you can see there's a driver figure. Driver figures are actually quite rare. Later on, the driver figures were sold separately. I guess not a lot of people like doing figures because figures are quite difficult.
Yeah.
But then under here, you see the traditional sort of grey plastic that TAMIYA uses. They use that for all their interior bits. And so you've
The
got
color of that plastic is still the same today, isn't it?
It is. I don't think it'll change at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's got you see the radiators across here. There's the engine blocks. You got the gearboxes and the exhaust system all on this part here. Then they get into the black section. The black section was generally sort of suspension and wheels. So you got the wheels here, the multi-piece wheels. You got the seat, and then all the suspension arms. And you may not be able to see, but they're actually little clips here because it's designed to clip together. And then the front suspension actually has steering as well. Okay, so you got steering wheel and shocks all on that one. And then here we get into the bodywork. Okay, so you got here, you can see the ground effects just under there.
Yep.
You got the top monocoque. There's the cowling. So after you finish, this would actually all lift off, and you'll see the whole underside of the chassis. And you got your tinted glass there. Why it was blue, I'm not too sure. Okay, you got your multi pieces for your wings.
You got your rubber tires here.
Yes. So
Wow.
you got rubber tires. So they're a solid rubber tire. And then there'll be some screws in there as well, because generally you'll have the screws poking out of the uprights.
You got O-rings. You got some metal.
Oh, there's some metal. So that'll be for the steering rod.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Yep.
Quite a lot.
Then over here you got this huge decal sheet. Okay, at that time it was sponsored by Parmalat. So you've got the Brazilian flag there. So why is there a Brazilian flag? Oh, that'd be for
Which
Nelson
drive?
Piquet, yeah?
Piquet,
Nelson
yeah,
Piquet was
yeah.
Brazilian, yep. And then Patrese was French, yes?
Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
So
So it's British.
British and Italian?
Not sure about the British.
Oh, that's all on one decal. Well, someone might be able to tell us what the go is there.
But Parmalat, I wonder if they're representing different ownership of because it was BMW and Parmalat. I don't know.
Well, Brabham would have been English at that time. I
English,
think.
yeah. So it could be English flag, Italian flag, because the main sponsors were like that. I don't know.
So interesting. So nice. So you can see the red slashes there. They're for Nelson Piquet's helmet. Okay, and then you've got your manual, of course. So that's sort of showing its age now, isn't it?
Definitely it's going to be yellow.
Yep, starting to discolor. And then the manuals, interestingly, haven't changed all that much.
Not at all.
Yeah.
got all the instruction on the driver helmet up here.
So this is sort of halfway into the build.
Yep.
This is where the chassis is already being built up. You've got the turbos being attached to the exhaust, and then you've got the driver popping in. So that's basically the chassis pretty much built up with the engine on the back.
Yep.
And that's where you start building the cowling, and the cowling gets fitted on.
And off you go.
Yeah. And so that's where these were sort of tricky too, because you had to make sure that everything fit properly. Otherwise, at the end, you have bits that didn't want to go together.
Work together.
Yes.
Oh, this is opening like this actually. Look
Yeah.
at this.
Oh, look at that. In those days, I had some photos too.
There's something charming about the old style technical drawings there they've got.
Yes, definitely. And some photos, as you say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, good stuff.
Like
Bit
this is
of a
the
classic.
engine. This is the engine actually.
Yes.
Look at that.
Nice. Engine and the engine mount.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. So what was this again? This was 570 horsepower at 11,000 revs.
Here we go.
That's a bit of power, isn't it?
That's pretty quick. Definitely.
At that time, the Brabham was owned by Bernie Eccleston.
Oh, right.
That's probably why his picture's on the side of the box. So both of the Brabham drivers, PK and Riccardo Patrese, pushed the cars to the limits. Where did they end up? Can't remember. I think they did reasonably well. Doesn't actually have the results there, but yeah, very interesting.
There we go. So
Really nice.
original Tamiya kit from 1983.
So it's got marking options here for the South African GP and also the Canadian GP. So you got slight variations in the decals. It's cool.
Very good.
Something different, isn't it?
Definitely. Oh, everything in.
There.
Goes back here.
Yep.
Very good.
All right, so that's something a bit obscure, pretty rare.
Definitely.
Okay, so something that's not so rare at the moment, but will become rare. So we've got this Kitty Hawk. So this is just a couple of examples of Kitty Hawk kits that we have. And then also Panda. So Kitty Hawk and Panda are actually from the same manufacturer, different brandings. And for some reason, during the last week, they've announced that they're closing shop.
Yeah.
So whatever you can see now is all that's ever going to be available again. So we do have quite a selection of aircraft and also Panda armor kits in stock.
Yep.
They've got some really interesting subject matter.
That's right.
Now, unfortunately, I mean, Kitty Hawk have always had a reputation of not being the best fit, but the Kitty Hawk models that I've seen really come up nicely.
Oh, wow.
So I guess it's like anything. You can build a airfix kit, and sometimes the older airfix kits were atrocious fit, but everyone still loves airfix. So unfortunately, I think they had a really bad rap, but they do make some really good kits, and they're modern kits. So if it's got a slight fit issue, then that's part of the challenge of building a kit, I think.
It's definitely fixable, really. You need
Yes.
more patience, and you can
Yeah.
definitely adjust it as needed, really.
For
If you have a
sure.
good base,
It's
you don't need to, can't scratch build something like that.
No, that's right.
Huge amount of work, so if you
Yes.
need to do a little bit of work to make it fit,
that's right.
it's still doable.
So if you're talking about, things like this 32nd scale F5, I don't think anyone else makes a 32nd scale F5. And that's quite an iconic aircraft. It's one of those really sharp dagger type designs.
Yep.
And then you've got the SU-27, and as you can see, the thickness of the box,
Huge.
which is really intricate. And then you've got some oddball things. So you've got this.
Panda was mostly the armor stuff, is that correct?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. So I'm trying to get reflections happening. There we go. So you've got this buck. So I mean, this is a bit infamous because the buck was presumably the missiles that downed the 747 over
Yep.
Ukraine. So Panda have made a model, and then Meng have also got one, but Meng one is much more expensive.
Right.
So both of them are very good quality, and I think this is pretty good value too. So just let you know, if you're interested in any of these kits, don't wait too long, because once they get on the collector's market, they're going
That's
to go higher in price.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's a bit of news from the Panda Kitty Hawk front. What else we got?
I can see this one here. I'm sure why they made it to the office here.
Oh, it just came by
Just
because
came
it's
with you?
just something that you like, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I
How
quite
do we
like
say
them
the
too.
name?
This one,
That's
this is Hatsune Miku.
so Miko, definitely Japanese name.
It is. So what is she? Is she from a game?
No, she's a character for Vocaloid, which is a Japanese digital voice synthesizer.
Oh,
She's a one of, I think, 7 or 6 mascots.
oh, really?
Right.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay. You learn something new every day. So she's all set up to be doing a concert. So she comes with stands with speakers.
Yep.
And does she come with a mic? Yeah, she comes with a mic as well. And this is in the same series as the Frame Arm Girls.
Girls,
So rather than being a military style one, she's more of a singer dancer.
Singer, yeah.
And
Performer. So you got on top camera.
Yeah.
As usual, here we go. Some
Yeah.
good detail here. So you got microphone up here.
Yep.
Speakers.
Yep.
Different speakers.
Yep.
And you can pause in a couple of different ways, obviously.
Yeah,
Got a
so-
stand here.
yeah. So the amazing thing about the Frame Arm Girls is the amount of posability.
Yeah.
And again, why they're so popular with the what do you call it? Stop motion artists.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's where the stand comes in handy too. So all stop motion needs a stand at some stage to get dynamic poses happening. And as you're doing frame by frame, you're doing your hundreds of frames at a time. You need to be steady.
And as usual, they've got quite a few different options for eyes and face expression.
Yes.
So you got with the mouth open, different kind of smile, different eye position.
Yeah. And again, they're just face plates, so it's easy to swap them in and out
Yes.
for your animation.
That's right.
Even if you're not into animation, I mean, it's quite easy to just repose the figure.
Every now and then.
Yeah. Every
Definitely.
day, every night, every week, every month.
night. Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Before going to bed,
That's
tidy
right.
up all your little figures.
Yes. But yeah, so they're great. We've got a few
Different ones, yeah.
Yeah. They're
That's
over there.
from Kotobukiya. So Kotobukiya is this manufacturer to do Zoids, very famous for the
Yes.
Zoids,
Yes.
and a large range of these
Yep.
frame arm girls. And
Yes.
they have also the standard frame arm, which is like
Yep.
a more
More robotic.
robotic type stuff,
Yep.
kind of stuff, really.
Yeah. They make quite a lot of different things which are really interesting. So they've got the Hexagear as well, which is a different series,
Yes.
which is sort of robotic as well, with
Yeah.
really small figures. Yeah, all bits and pieces. Really interesting.
Good.
Mm.
All right.
All right, so that's kits, is it? I think that's
Kits.
all the kits we've got to look at the moment. And
Absolutely.
then we've got to look at some paint.
Paints, yes. So
Now this is one of Marlin's experiments.
Marlin, last week while he was home, he's been working on some really interesting projects, including the Hearns Workshop, phone boxes and other accessories. So Marlin has been 3D modeling those for us, but he's been building an RC car, and he decided to paint the body.
Yes.
And to decide the color,
Did a sample.
he did some samples. He did some
Now,
lots of experimentation, actually.
I don't know if you can really see, but this is actually a color shift paint. You might be able to see the green coming through now. So it's a green to brown. So this is actually a color shift from SMS, and this is their lava. And so on a rate control body, you actually paint inside out.
Yep.
So that's why he's done it with this piece of acetate. So to make the SMS paint, which I've got here, you need, so this is the paint he actually used. So it's a lava. It's a color shift. I guess we could
Do it this way.
go under there. Okay, there's a color shift. And he's mixed the flexing agent into there to make it flexible. So as you can see, super flexible. Now, if you did that with a regular lacquer paint, usually they'll start flaking and coming off now, but that's definitely attached. And I'll see if I can get the different colors come through here too.
It's pretty good, no?
You see it there? So it's shifted from brown to green. So basically what Marlin's done is he sprayed the color shift on the back of this first, and then he's backed it with black.
Yeah.
And so that's how he's got that dark tone, and it's really accentuating the browns and then the green. You can see there, which is quite amazing. And to do that, to work out what he was going to get, he's done a whole series of spoons. So spoons tends to be quite a common thing to use when comparing colors. Because you've got these curves. You've got the curve which picks up light in different angles, and you can actually see the overall effect of the shifts. And what he's done here is he's put it over different base colors. Now it's a bit hard to see now, but I think this is gold.
Yep.
This is silver. This is black. This is green, and this must have been red.
Red, yeah. And
And you can see just with the different base color how it's affected the overall finish. this is interesting that this green doesn't look that different, but it's probably when you pick it up at different angles, you'll start seeing more green coming through.
Okay,
That's very similar.
That's
to
one of my
this black
favorite
one.
actually, the green.
Yeah, it's pretty full on, isn't it? So it's similar but different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see how it's gone over other things, and it probably doesn't work as well. So this is coming out very, very coppery.
And
then this
flat
is
too.
yeah. And then this one's very golden.
Yeah.
Hence the yellow tones coming through the gold. And then the red is interesting too. It's gone a bit funky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's this piece which was a spare piece of bonnet that he had. And you can see just there how it's just shifted the tone. It's quite interesting. So whether or not you're building static kits like this one, or you're doing, flexible paint jobs for radiator control, you can quite easily get these paints to do this
Definitely.
sort of finish.
Yeah.
So with the flex agent, so it's basically recommended.
5%.
It says up to 10%, but 5% works better.
Yeah.
And then bear in mind that this flex agent can be used for other lacquers as well.
That's right.
So you can mix your own paints if there's another tone that you like in a different brand. So
yeah,
just pay attention to the same sort of mixing ratio.
As always, you should try experiment before going live effectively.
Yes.
Because they may react differently. Yeah. But definitely the flex agent works. I've used it on a few different paints. Works really well.
Yeah.
Always just mix it, have a go, and leave it overnight and see if it dries up without being tacky. Because if you put too much flex agent, the paint stays really
it's
rubbery and
too flexible.
Too flexible, so it doesn't really dry up properly. So always try out before you do. So cut you short. So the color shift paint looks great. Moving through different lights. Just really
it's quite amazing, isn't it?
I really like this one. So it's beautiful. And
I could do this all day.
Same, different base, but same cover.
Yeah, same top coat.
Different top coat. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
So again, back to your color theory. Do you remember we did that video a few weeks back on color theory?
Yes.
We effectively the 5, 6 key paints. You can do anything really.
Anything.
And that goes back to this. You can have a base of your base colors, and then you can pretty much with one pearl finish, you can obtain lots of different tones.
Yeah. So with the color theory, I mean, that only deals with the primary colors.
Yes.
So you can quite easily, so that expands to the secondary, and then you go into tertiaries, and then you can start making metallics as well. So you could quite easily just use a silver and a gold.
Yeah.
And then even one of these color shifts.
Yeah.
And then you can start blending your own colors too.
That's right. So in this case, you probably go from a standard basic pearl color, mother of pearl.
Yes.
And then you can create any sort of pearl finish.
Really. That's right. Yeah.
And goes, color shifting. There'll be a basic color shifting, and then you can adjust as you go. So experimenting.
That's right. Because it's all about different coats too. So these have got quite a reasonably heavy coat.
Yeah.
If you did a lighter coat, it would be much more subtle.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Very good. Excellent.
I wouldn't mind asking another question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the color shift in general, is it technically a semi-transparent, so it brings the bottom layer through it?
So what I can gather is it's some sort of crystalline structure, and it's black magic as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know how each crystal aligns itself so that when you bend it to a particular way, everything reflects the same color. I don't know how it does that. Okay, so somehow every single crystal aligns itself. So one side, it's always green. The other side, it's always whatever the other color is. So it's like this. I mean, look at it, it's green now, right? And you turn it around, it turns brown. So, and you have to think that each crystal is coming out of the same nozzle. It's getting flipped around like this.
Crazy speed.
That's right. It lands on something, and it ends up giving the same thing.
And before going there, you do this. You shake them all up, so they're all in perfectly random, organized kind of order.
So, so it's black magic. So when you have a closer look at those, you'll see the pigment on the bottom, and it's in a very clear base. Yeah. So it's all about how it reflects the light. Yeah. So it already gives a very good effect, even with a really thin coat.
That's right.
But as you increase it, you start getting less of the base coat and more of the reflection from the actual crystals themselves. Black magic.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Very good. All right. So I think this was the last trick for the day.
Was it?
Thank you to Marlin.
Ah, yes. Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he?
It was a very good job. So we are very much looking forward to see his RC car painted up all this way.
Yeah, looking forward to it. He hasn't brought it in yet, has he?
No,
No.
it'll come up soon,
Hmm.
hopefully. So, what else do we have here? I think we have most of the things we're planned for today.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
So-
maybe we need to look at that a bit closer.
I think we can park the spoons.
Yes.
We can have ice cream after this.
Yeah.
Let's park them here carefully. And let's give it the last chance for you guys to have a look at this car and tell us what it may be or may not be.
So for the viewers, what are we still waiting on?
So this is a Lotus Elise. We're looking for the model.
That was a
And
bit tough, I think.
I think the
I think
model is
everyone's
going to be
given
really
up on that
difficult.
one.
I think so.
Yeah.
We can give that away.
Yeah.
And the color, we have
colour's
already
pretty-
given away.
That's pretty obvious.
So
Yeah.
this is a Lotus Elise Sprint 220, and is obviously matte black.
Matte black.
Matte black.
Yep.
Very hard to see actually. Black on black on black. Let's remove the black matte. Let me give us a chance
Take
to
off the
see.
black matte.
Oh, look at that. So much better already. So this is one of the racing models from Technomodel, Italian company.
Mm.
And this is a limited edition, so number 81 of 90. And this is this brilliant Lotus, not Toyota, Lotus Elise. It's
Toyota.
not Toyota, definitely not. Lotus Elise Sprint 220.
Yeah.
In matte black.
So the interesting thing, I'm not generally a fan of black because black looks really sleek because
Yes.
simply it reflects less color or less
Yes.
light, and reflecting less light means it appears smaller and more sleek. But when you look closer at these, you can see there's a lot of fine little details that they've added. So I think the particular items that I'm really impressed with are the insignia and the markings on the back. So the printed Lotus markings.
Okay, let's see this way. There we go.
So you can see the Lotus that's going all the way across the back trim here. And then over here, you've got the Elise 220 version just under there. That's super crisp. You've got the contrast with the super reflective and shiny lights.
Yes. And the grill. The
Oh, yes, the engine covers. Yes.
engine covers here. Let's
Yep.
see if we can get it. See, it's very hard to see, I think. What I have to say is that this model, the matte finish is really hard to achieve in general.
Mm.
And this specific one is extremely well finished.
It is.
You can see it's really smooth. Often on matte finish, it's easy to get this kind of tiny imperfections.
Mm.
But this across the full model it's really good. When you look at it against the light, it's really smooth. See, probably hard to see from the cameras, but again, really smooth finish. Full interior details. Let's see if you can see them from this way. There we go. See good interior details.
Real stealth car, isn't it?
Yes.
These things have got tiny engines in them too.
Yeah, I think so too.
They don't weigh a lot. They weigh
Very
about,
light.
they're about 10 kilos.
10 kilos.
Yeah.
Plus the grocery. And here it is. 1/18 scale model in resin.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Very, very nice.
Hmm.
All right. All right. So we are at the end. Ready for a long weekend over here in Melbourne.
Long weekend, yes. Yes. Out of lockdown and long weekend.
All right. So we're going to have to relax a little bit. We've got time to relax if you didn't have time the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
So let's see if hopefully everyone has good projects for the weekend. I know you have a few going.
Got a few going. Yep.
Bit of painting.
Kick started them again.
Yes.
Good.
Good. So a bit of painting happening.
Yep.
I have a few things as well. Let's see what I can make happen. I've got a bit of 3D work to do. I still have the body shell for the TRX4 that I need to start to do if we want to do a new one.
You got an exclusive car being built at the moment as well.
Exclusive car being built,
Mhm.
which now after seeing what Marlin did with this, I think could be an opportunity for us to paint that car as well.
Sure.
So that would be very exclusive. So we're building the DQS,
Yep.
Hearns exclusive.
Yep.
And then maybe we could look at painting the chassis, some part of the chassis actually, to make it even more exclusive. And what else? I think we'll be playing with, I don't know, all sorts of other things. slot cars, I'm sure, would be a bit of slot car action
That's
in my
something we
place.
still have to do. We have to do the TDK enhanced
Great.
traction tire
Yes,
on slot car. That has to happen.
I think so. I think
It'll
maybe
make a big
this
difference, I
weekend.
think.
This weekend we're going to put TDK on slot cars.
Yep.
And maybe we open a complete new level of slot car racing, which I'm
Yep.
pretty sure that
Yep.
at a high level they already use some kind of traction compound or whatsoever.
I wonder if it'll work on shoes.
I'm sure you're going to run faster home.
Imagine that.
Oh, very good. All right then. So I don't see any more questions here. So
No? Well, there you go.
Let's
There's
go for
another
the weekend.
episode.
all right. So episode 51 done. So next one will be number 52, which will
Yes.
be, I guess, 12 months of episodes in the studio. Plus the
Amazing.
one we did at Tom.
Yep.
So a year and a half almost of live show. So hopefully you guys enjoyed them. So make sure you follow us through the week.
Maybe we have to make a clip of from the beginning all the way to up
Absolutely.
to now. That'd be funny, I think.
Really good idea, actually. Let's do that.
Yep.
That'd be good.
All right.
So you're welcome, Bruce. Thank you for joining us. So thank you everyone that joined us today and try the past 50 plus episodes.
Yes,
We're going to be back next Friday.
for sure.
Same place, same time.
That's right.
Make sure you let us know what you would like to see so we can come up with some tutorials, experiments.
Experiments.
Anything, really.
We like experiments.
Yeah, always. So, all right then.
All right.
Have a
Thanks
good weekend,
again.
everyone.
See you
Thank you
later.
for joining us. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.